Something tells me screaming at the Twitch audience that you're streaming to is probably going to get you a lot of help with putting out the fire in your kitchen. I don't know. Maybe I'm totally off base on that. Just
So I couldn't see the video on that. Did she end up putting it out?
it went out on its own. I
Okay.
don't know what she was cooking. It looked like a chicken leg that she burnt all to fuck, and then the grease that was in the pan just caught on fire, and it finally just burned itself out.
Fire.
I have no doubt that that was incredibly witty, but most of it was just you glitching out and then grease fire at the end. I'm gonna try it one
Ah,
more time.
eh, it was just safety talk. I was just impressed that she knew to not throw water on it. That's all.
Well, I mean, initially she tried to stick it underneath the sink, and
Mm.
it and as she was moving it over to the sink, it flared up real big on her, and then she put it back. She set it back down on the stove. So it wasn't necessarily that she
Gotcha.
didn't know to put it under the water so much as it almost set her on fire as she was trying to put it under the water. So uh, she actually saved herself by just the fact that it flared up on her and didn't give her the opportunity to get the water running on it.
Here's a lesson, everyone. Keep a fire extinguisher in your kitchen.
Um, um, and make sure you are properly vetting the women that you choose to spend time with. Test them cooking skills. It's really
Mm-hmm.
funny when my wife and I first started dating. Our not our might have been our first date actually. I came here to this house to hang out with her, and she had cooked, and is like, all right, like this is definitely going to go well. I'm going to keep this one around for sure. And
She cooked your hot dog.
it was I can't remember what I think it was like
No, you
fried.
missed it. You missed it.
I know,
Don't
I
worry
know,
about
I know. What? See, you're going too fast. I've got that, but I wasn't ready to get to it
That
yet.
was I wasn't going there. I wasn't going there.
Oh, you aren't going there? I
I
was gonna
mean,
say
I
because
knew it,
she
but I just
cooked me like
wanted.
fried pork chops and green beans and mashed potatoes and like
Oh,
You
southern
just
yeah,
cooked your
shit.
beans.
yeah, and that it was like fate because my mom would always like cook me a special
Careful.
supper
It's like
whenever
Chris Chan territory, man. You don't want to.
my mom would cook a special supper for my birthday every year, and that was what I always wanted for my birthday meal was fried pork chops, mashed potatoes, and green beans. So it was almost like fate had decided that this was going to happen. Um, so yeah, I definitely did not get the where is that? Definitely did not get the hot dog treatment.
Well, and there's really twofold here. Like, A, you got to make sure that you're not just going to get the hot dog treatment for the next 50 years of your life. But B, you got to make sure they're not going to burn your fucking house down either. So, there's really twofold. Like the hot dogs, whatever, I'll live. But when they're burning down my damn house, that's really so it's an
Will you
important
live
skill.
though? Will you? I mean,
Uh,
like, if she has like the HIV, are you gonna live?
Dag can't see his screen. He
I can't. Sorry.
Did
so
you
he
did
doesn't
you
know
see?
that
I
we're
sent it last night.
yeah he
Did you
doesn't
see
know
it?
that we're talking about the thing that says the waitress puts hot dog in her vagina before serving it.
Oh, that hot dog treatment.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
They got it on camera too. Which I mean, you wonder did they hold on to the video before they called her on it? They watched it a few times.
It probably depends on how hot she is.
This is like an asshole customer scenario, and she was like, "I'll show this motherfucker." This wasn't like she was just trying to bust a quick nut in between shifts or anything.
I don't know though. I mean, some people probably it's like the people that enjoy feet, or enjoy cranking in the public park. There's probably something to that. That's your kink, and if your kink is serving people vaginated hot dogs, I mean,
I don't think that's an actual kink. That's
Hey man, why it's somebody's and you just shamed them. So
I know we're big on not kink shaming on this show, but
#1 non-kink shaming podcast.
that's right.
Proudly. Yeah.
No kink shaming whatsoever here.
Unless
If
it's
you
maps, then
yeah, no maps allowed. That's straight to the wood chipper.
that's not a kink though. That's just like
well, they're trying to claim it is.
Well, right. Speaking of which, that does make a pretty quick segue. Did y'all see this one? Why it's not grooming? What research says about gender and sexuality? Of course, this is from fucking PolitiFact, the worst,
right?
the worst fact checker on the planet. Like, PolitiFact is the sole reason I started a podcast to begin with. Like, thank you, PolitiFact. You were so terrible at your job that you drove me to start doing 2 shows a week and actually put out a podcast just to fact check how terrible you are at fact checking. So, and then this isn't even a fact check article. This is just straight up opinion piece, which is what all of their fact checks are anyway. We lost him.
That's what like
his wife wrecked the car.
I think he was driving, but you know, it's all the same. You put them in the car and they're just as dangerous. You know, they yell at you to look out for things that don't actually exist. And you know. Are those blue lights on his ceiling, or is that just a?
I think it's just the way the lights hit.
Oh, okay. He can't hear us. So yeah, dude. I mean, I looked at this. I had all these articles pulled up, and then of course it restarted last night, and so I lost it. But if I recall, what was their argument? Why it wasn't grooming?
All right. So if your time is short, here's the only thing anybody who looks at PolitiFact will actually read. Grooming is a term strongly associated with child sexual abuse, and it refers to a process or set of behaviors adults use to make it easier to introduce and complete sexual interactions with a child. Talking about gender identity and sexual orientation in the classroom would not be grooming because it is done without intent to sexually abuse a child, experts said. Experts in psychology and child development said they are not aware of any evidence showing that increased exposure to LGBTQ plus minus exclamation point parentheses people or topics makes children more likely to join the LGBTQ community. Instead, they said it is likely an environment of increased acceptance and allows people to more openly consider whether they might be part of the LGBTQ community.
See, I don't know. Like I almost get that. Like they're saying that, you know, this definition actually, you know, means that there's intent to sexually abuse someone, and not every teacher doing that is necessarily, you know, looking to abuse children. But at the same time, like, you know, you think what they did with the definition of vaccine and how they changed it, and now, like, you know, things change a little bit, and grooming has become, I think, this catch-all of, you know, it doesn't necessarily have to be, you know, 100% sexual activity, but you are grooming them to a certain sexual disposition. You know, like
right. Yeah, that was my initial. Oh, go ahead, Dave.
I was just saying, it's one of those words that it really is, like, as it gets to be, you know, like what racism has become,
right.
The word racism, you know, it's just like, okay, so it kind of means nothing now, you know, so it's like, definitions definitely change over time and as usage, et cetera, but it really sucks when something gets so broad, because I do see, I'm not saying that you shouldn't call it grooming, I don't know, but I do see a difference between, let's say, okay, here's what exists in the world and here's some information about it, versus like, yeah, like trying to raise somebody to be a pet. You know what I mean? Like, it's, you know, they are two different things. Although some people might say one might not be that much worse than the other or something, but I do see a little bit of a difference there. And then my other thought with this, with the term again, is just poor dog groomers. So if you own like a dog grooming shop and you just have on the front of your building groomers, like, I don't know, they're gonna have to change what they do. Like, they're gonna have to change their term now.
It's a whole like industry in the ski industry as well. You know, it's a whole part of that. Like, you know, you got to get out there and get your morning grooming done, so the trails are nice for everybody else. You gotta groom the trails, man. I don't know. I don't know. Like I get it, and I think I don't know. Justin, were you gonna say something before?
Like, so my initial thought when I looked at the article or looked at the headline and then looked at the article is like, all right, so you're while we've been loosening definitions on everything else, which is terrible in and of itself,
Right.
because of the just the way it does really create this huge umbrella of too much stuff gets covered and you don't have a good explanation or definition of things. We're also trying to really like zero in and narrow down the definition of grooming because what they're doing is technically grooming. Like they're conditioning. It's like the trails. So when you talk about the scent trails, like the reason it's called grooming the trails is because they're prepping them, they're getting them ready for what's to come. So like that's what these teachers are doing, and you've got the literal libs of TikTok posts of them over and over and over again talking about doing this stuff. Like it is the definition of grooming as it applies to the blanket term of grooming. Now it's not the specific like pedophile type of grooming, which is what they narrow in on the PolitiFacts article. But that's it technically it's right. Like so now we're gonna say that that's not what they're doing when really it is. It's I don't know. It's
are math teachers grooming students to be scientists?
Well, and that's what I was just gonna like. I think we're in this.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I just have to ask that.
Well, no, because like isn't everything we teach kids in a sense like grooming to a degree? Then I mean, like, and I think Alaska there. I don't know his name, Mr. Bad Thought. I think there is a certain extent that when it becomes brainwashing, right? Like when you go to history class and you learn all about how bad the Nazis were, like how much that is just brainwashing. No, but really, like when you go to like that's but like
where's Mark when we need him?
But you think about all the things you learn about, like you don't learn about the Gulf of Tonkin, you don't learn about the Lusitania, you don't all these things that like are breezed over. Is that brainwashing? Is that like where? I think it's a fine line, and I think it's I don't know.
His name is Leighton.
Leighton. Hello, outlawed Leighton. Leighton the outlaw. All right. I don't know, man. It's because it's one of the, like because I think you run into the problem of like overusing it, and it delegitimizes actual grooming, actual like sexual grooming of the little boy in your basement. Like that's
Quiet, you white supremacist.
That's why Mark isn't here today.
Sorry, I'm just trying to overuse words.
Mark is actually being supplanted as the smartest member of his family this week, and he can share what that means in the group chat later.
Okay. We'll let that.
You'll both find it humorous. I'm not going to share what's actually going on in case he doesn't want it shared, but he can tell you.
Just like you don't share people's names that don't want their names shared.
Look, you put it on the article, not me. And you sent the article to us to use on the show.
Not to use as a show. Oh man, whatever.
Why did you send it then if you didn't want it to be used in the show? Like that's the whole point of sending the articles. Is these are the things we're going to talk about today.
Okay.
Did you really?
I didn't think you'd actually.
Did you really think I wasn't going to use a fish tube article like that? Do you even know what kind of show we do here?
It's kind of like the Miranda rights. Anything you post. Oh God, I need to stop because any article you post. Let's make that the rule, not any phrase or saying or word. Oh shit.
Look, some people appreciated what I did there.
I don't know, man. I think some teachers, it's tough because I think they are like there is a lot of brainwashing going on at that age because you don't think for yourself, and I think if you are in a minority that a lot of these LGBTQIA plus people are. You want your demographic to grow. You want a bigger selection. You don't want to have to go to the bar and pick out one of a bunch of 30 whales. Like you want to have something a little more selection. So get it started now. And I don't know enough about it. I'm not in that culture, but if you look, there's a big, I think, like older gay folks with like younger boyfriend girlfriends. I remember, I feel like I read something about that once upon a time, about like why it was okay, or how like the straight people don't like understand that cultural norm or whatever you want to call it. I don't know. I'll get myself in trouble.
Okay, so are the people in that community whales, or does that community kind of lend itself to letting yourself go and becoming a whale?
No, I think the whales, they start out as whales, and then they are looking for dolphins, so they gotta bring the dolphins in, because the dolphins are like, hell no, once you get the little dolphin.
Oh, what the fuck. Well,
call me Captain Ahab.
All right, well, gosh, there was a moment there where I thought I was going to transition into this different.
Don't do it. Don't. It's not worth it. Lots of people have regrets.
Over here laughing about the term piscophile.
You know what? I think I will transition, because it would be nice to have like 3 or 4 days off. About 3 days it would be nice to have about 3 days a month off of work, just because I feel crampy or something. So and apparently men or trans women can have periods. I don't know if you
did it say that.
Huh? Did you say that, or did I?
I said that. I said I wonder if. Well, did the article say that?
The trans men can, or trans women can have.
No, in Spain, if you're a dude that thinks you have a vagina, are you allowed to take 3 days of menstrual leave?
I don't recall seeing that specified.
Yeah, I didn't see it either.
If I identify as a woman, I should be allowed to take the 3 days, right?
Well, that's why I wonder, like, how they define a woman in Spain.
Do I have to like prove that my flow has been exceptionally heavy and that I'm like really in need of this? Or
yes, you need to bring
they make a
in
special
your
tool
pad.
for that. Flow meter. It's cool. Bluetooth to your phone. Gross. You can just monitor it, all day. It's great.
Gross. I don't want to talk about that. I have so.
So what kind of a precedent does this set, though? Like I guess because I'm the evil manager, I just have concerns over what kind of a precedent is being set by this 3-day menstrual leave offered to women in Spain. Like, all right, how long is it before that spreads through all of Europe? Because eventually it will, probably within 5 years, if not sooner.
If that. I'm an alcoholic. Do I get 3 days of hangover?
Right.
I'm feeling really rough today, guys. I drank a little too much.
Got that brown bottle flu?
You don't want me driving a forklift right now, so.
But how long before this makes it, mainstream? And it's like, okay, well, I need 3 days because I'm on my period. I also need 3 days because I'm recovering from a hangover. I need 3 days because
my wife's on her period.
Right.
Yeah. Somebody's got to take care of her, right?
It's okay. It's not about you.
Somebody's got to take care of her, and
I mean, my wife got all of that taken care of, so she doesn't get a period. So now I'm being singled out, and I'm being left out of this because my wife doesn't get a period anymore. Like, this is discrimination. I should be given 3 days just for shits and giggles, because otherwise it's unfair.
What if you have a daughter?
I've got 2 of those. I should get 6 days.
Yeah, right. I mean, because unless they all line up, but then you got to prove that, and that's just back to your grooming. So
I think that's a different type of grooming. That's
You go back to the dog groomer thing there.
Yeah, that's like personal health and hygiene type thing.
I have a flow story that I will tell.
So, well, let's hear about Ant
probably-
Flow. Go on. Go
No,
ahead.
probably I'll do it next weekend.
Next
Do that.
next weekend or next Friday.
Yeah, next Saturday, I think.
That's not next Saturday. That's the Saturday after.
Oh, well, I'll wait then.
Oh, we're saving that for the nightcast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a Korea
Okay.
story.
We got to tease something out there.
Yeah, it's a
Ooh,
Korea
okay,
story.
good.
It's
Yeah,
gross.
yeah.
It's repulsive, and you'll
Oh,
probably
more Korean stuff.
Yeah.
We never actually got any of the Korean stories to begin with when we were supposed to. So
No.
this will be fun.
No, I keep those
I
under a tight lid.
I was going to be upset about you not sharing it now, but I like this. It's something to look forward to.
Yeah, if you're gonna do the teaser, you're doing it well. Like this is the way to do it.
That's-
Let's see.
I'm good at that. I'm good at that.
He's studying production.
I like
At
to
least
tease.
you're
I
good
got
at
my
something.
pasties. Got my
Finally read that book Justin's been pitching to us all.
got a pair of boxers that have no more lining in the balls, so the balls hang out. I'm good at teasing.
Wait, which book?
Now that I was just making a joke that there might have been some production book that you wanted us to read. I was just commenting on Clyde's production quality going up.
Oh, don't make me start giving y'all homework.
Dude, dude, you didn't send the link out until like 8:32. I mean, like, don't talk to me about production quality. Your internet sucks. I can't even see your face. You look like a freaking gelatinous blob over there. Like, all I
Dude,
see
You know
is
what's the
pink.
job of producer? Then you best shut your mouth. Justin, you're an excellent producer, and I love it.
Thank you. I say, I will retire today. Y'all only got like a dozen different intro clips that you can just keep cycling through for the next however long. Let's see. Oh, speaking of women, let's see if this actually pulls up for y'all.
I love this.
I dream women will one day have the same rights as guns, which is the most ridiculous thing ever. Which I do completely agree with the bottom part of this meme. Okay, so you can't enter schools, courtrooms, sporting events, libraries, or any other women-free zones. You can't board an airplane. You can't be in a vehicle unless the driver is licensed to possess you, and you can't enter polls on election day. I mean, this solves like 98% of our problems in the U.S. right off the bat. Like, we don't even need to abolish. We don't even need to abolish the 19th Amendment. We just need to give women the same rights as guns.
Take you out back and run a few loads through you whenever I want. Yeah.
Dag's about to get like ejector seated out of the car. This is gonna be
I know.
hilarious.
Oh shit! You're not hearing the other half of the conversation, babe.
Oh god.
Well,
speaking of oh, go ahead. You look like you're about to say something.
No.
I was gonna say, speaking of what's going on in a couple weeks, we've teased it, and for those who follow the account on Twitter, coming up on May 28th at 7:30 Central PM instead of AM, we're gonna flip this show on its head and have the night before. This is like the best graphic ever.
I love this graphic. I love it.
Going for the week.
Our standard the morning after graphic is pretty good, but this one like sets a new bar.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
it's gonna be a good time.
I don't know, man. What else we got? What else is happening?
Well, do we want to talk about Madonna being nude?
No.
We want to look at it.
I don't though. I said there was a video that went around her on like TikTok a little while ago. I was like, what is she? Like, it's weird. I don't know if it's like Botox or just like that's what happens when you get old. I don't know. It's like gross, man.
Yeah, the picture pictures I saw, and I didn't like look through it or anything, but they looked like animated. It didn't actually look like real pictures. But maybe it was just like a graphic, like a excuse me, like an ad or something. I don't know. Did anybody see Madonna's old book from like the 90s of her naked?
No.
We're not going to admit to it anyway.
No, it's not one that I've ever like searched out.
Yeah,
that
I
looks
heard
like
it was supposed to be tasteful.
Animatronic, like AI sex doll type thing.
Okay, so I wasn't wrong then.
No, that's what I thought. I was like, these are supposed to be
full body smoothing.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems weird to me. I've definitely seen animes that were much more realistic looking than this.
Are you into tentacle stuff?
No. I do enjoy anime, but I don't like what is it? Hentai? Is that what it's called?
I don't know.
You're not into that kind of stuff either. Damn it, Leighton! Tell us about the animated porn, because this is outside of our wheelhouse. I don't know why.
I enjoy some of it, but most of it's too weird. If I could find a place to get like some nice, like not tentacle stuff, like I might be into it.
But isn't it like that's standard issue? Like it has to eventually devolve into tentacles, otherwise it's not really that genre. Isn't that right?
I don't know, man.
I mean, there's a long line of hot cartoons. You got Jessica Rabbit, Francine Smith, Lois Griffin, if you can get past the accent.
I don't know. She's kind of gingery.
Well, yeah. And?
Oh, let's see. What else we got? Oh, speaking of kind of gingery and horrible bitches that nobody wants to fuck. No, that wasn't what we were talking about, but along those lines, what'd I do with it? Boom. This crazy lady. If you hadn't had your morning fright, just look at this picture and be terrified for a moment.
Yeah, that's a big mouth. You fit like 2 or 3 in there. How many tentacles could fit in there?
Minister of Truth Nina Jankowicz wants to eat your soul. No, edit your tweets. Just scroll past that terrifying thing.
You see the baby? Go back up. You see the baby?
That baby right there?
Yeah, she's like crying in the top one. She's scared. Never mind. And then the ooey gooey cheese. What kind of ads do you? I don't know, man. Your ads are always weird.
It's Brightbird. I don't control what's on here.
You do with your search history, you weirdo.
This is Focus on the Family, and that's Health Natural. So obviously my search history is really fucked up.
Speaking of Health Natural, did you pull up anything on Bill Gates?
No.
His mammary juice?
Was I supposed to?
No.
His soy milk.
No. Oh, Jesus. Right.
His soy milkers.
So tell me more about Nina editing my tweets, and then we can talk about Billy Boy.
DHS Disinformation Governance Board Director Nina Jankowicz, better known as the Biden administration's Minister of Truth, says Twitter should allow verified users like her to edit other users' tweets to add context. Look, bitch, I can't even edit my own damn tweets to add context. Until I can edit my tweets, you can't edit my tweets either.
That's the best part about Twitter, though, is you can't edit tweets.
Oh, I hate it.
Once it's there, it's there, and
I'll admit, typos.
I've deleted tweets and fixed typos, but it is what it is.
I know.
Dag, I think this question was intended for you. It says balls or no balls on your Fuda.
On my what?
Fuda.
What is a Fuda?
Oh God, you don't know what that is?
I've not heard of this.
Oh, is that what that word means? I don't know. No. I tend to shy away from balls. I don't really know the full context, but I'll say probably no balls.
It's always a safe bet.
Yeah.
later on when you have an opportunity and you're on like a secure browser, you can search for
Draw the shades. And
Employer's annual federal unemployment tax return.
No, don't search for
That's what I get.
FUTA. It's like
Yeah, that's the first thing that comes up. Federal Unemployment Tax Act.
that is not.
I hate it
all right.
already.
The
I want no balls on that.
Futanari is what it is. So
There was a couple links down below, and I think I got something of an idea that I won't continue.
you got all the taste of that you needed.
I got enough to know. Anytime it says Shemale, I just click X.
But I don't think
Hard
it's,
pass, soft fast, flaccid pass on that one, I guess.
You're still not sure about a trap though.
No.
That's a maybe.
How do we always end up talking about traps? This is becoming a real niche show that I don't like.
Tentacles, traps.
Speaking of traps,
Yes.
let's see what the
And I am eligible for it because I'm verified. But there are a lot of people who shouldn't be verified who aren't, legit, in my opinion. I mean, they are real
Is this
people,
her?
but they're not
Yes, that's her.
trustworthy. Anyway, so verified people can essentially start to edit Twitter the same sort of way that Wikipedia is, so they can add context to certain tweets. So just as a easy example, not from any political standpoint, if President Trump were still on Twitter and tweeted a claim about voter fraud, someone could add context from one of the 60 lawsuits that went through the court, or something that an election official in one of the states said, perhaps your own Secretary of State.
All right, I can't listen to her voice anymore. That's about
Oh, yeah, that's rough.
More tentacles in that mouth.
So-
Keep that fixed.
So she's saying that she's not like asking like Twitter to like, oh, let us do this. It's like, oh, we need the government to say we have to be allowed to do this.
right. She's saying that the Disinformation Board, or the Ministry of Truth, should be allowed to do this. Whether it's not at the discretion of Twitter, it should be at the discretion of the Department of Homeland Security.
Oh, what a cunt. Yeah, that's crazy. It's almost like funny. It's like I'd almost want to like just to see what kind of funny corrections they correct on my shit. You know what I mean? Like I'd want to put like some really outlandish things out there that would just be hilarious to make them correct, like have to correct. And I can't think of a funny example. But like, oh man, did you see, Biden has hot dogs growing out of his ears or something? I don't know, something insane. And they'd have to be like, actually, Joe Biden does not have hot dogs growing out of his ears.
Actually,
Because
that
people
woman
busy.
put the hot dog in her vagina before feeding it to Joe Biden. It had nothing to do with his ears.
A comment on that video. Oh, she's just warming up Joe Biden's lunch.
Just the microwave's broken. You gotta find your own oven. So, what else you got? You got anything else?
Speaking of one in the oven, actually, this is what happens when they come out of the oven. Which once they're out of the oven, now they can't get food, or I guess they can't get non-natural food.
So okay, this is where okay.
I do have an article that I was reading that's completely non-show related about a new Dark Horse comic series that takes Sesame Street and turns it into a hyper-violent nightmare. Since you're doing the like talking like a Sesame
That
Street.
sounds kind of cool though.
I say we might talk about that at the end of the show. That was just like personal reading, but if it's
Big Bird and Snuffy finally get down to it.
I don't think it's that kind of. Who knows? Maybe. I haven't made
I
it
like
that far into
Snuffy.
the article. I can't. I don't know.
Yeah, so this whole baby formula stuff it's really kind of interesting. Have you guys looked at it at all?
A little bit.
Yeah, little.
So there was a contamination at where was it? Abbott.
It's like, yeah,
something.
Michigan, I think.
Abbott Healthcare and Research. And they do a bunch for Similac. And so there was a contamination, and it led to the death of 2 toddlers or something, two children. Which is really curious because how many deaths did the vaccine lead to? And that's still, getting pushed. But so they shut the whole factory down in February because of that. And we're actually like, we could import it from the EU, but we're not. And so where'd it go?
You're also not allowed to make your own, according to the FDA. Don't take traditional recipes that were used literally for decades.
Yep.
To make your own. Don't do that. No. The FDA says that's dangerous. You can only use the FDA approved stuff, which is also killing children.
So this is BioMilq, BIOMILQ.
Sounds delicious.
Reading that right? Well, it's a company, right? That is it's a new alternative to breast milk, and they actually started in June of 2020, and they have some funding with Mr. Gates. And it's going to be producing artificial breast milk from cultured human mammary epithelial cells.
As they're gearing up to push the vaccine on pregnant women, now with the Pfizer data that's come out about how bad that was, like they never should have been doing that to begin with. They even, like Pfizer, even recommended in the research and the data dump that it not be administered to pregnant women, but they pushed it. The CDC pushed it as hard as they could. And now we're having formula shortages, and there's some company that was spawned out of COVID that is making a breast milk replacement. It's just too fucking.
They got $3.5 million from a fund that was co-founded by Gates, Bezos, Branson, and Zuckerberg, among others. Because it will help prevent the effects of climate change. I'm not sure how exactly, but I guess it's conspiratorial, but when you put the pieces together, man, it's like, this is all like, this just lines up,
Yeah, man, I just don't trust those fuckers. Read that Fauci book, guys, for real, man. Like, they talk all, like, it's like everything that happens is just like an extension of that book now. Like, I'm like, oh yeah, of course that's what's happening. And like I said, the timing, I don't know, man, it's awful. Let me ask you guys this. You guys probably know better than me. Like, is it, obviously there's like medical issues or family emergencies or something where, you need formula, but don't women make milk for their babies?
So, yeah, I think I don't know, formula's always kind of been around. There's multiple issues. Like sometimes, babies have a higher metabolism than what you can produce.
What the double A's can produce.
Well, I mean, that's not always, the size is not always the issue. Yeah, anyway.
Sorry, just being a dick. Go ahead.
But, because you cannot produce enough. Sometimes babies can have trouble latching. If they're like tongue tied, they might have a hard time latching. And so there are things I'd love to see like a curve of, over the last like 100 years of, how many women are now like not able to breastfeed based on biological traits, compared over the last 100 years, and see what that looks like. So I wonder if has it gone up? Is it just that we're more aware of it now? Like it's something that's kind of okay to talk about.
I would be willing to bet that if it has gone up, like if the number of women who are physically incapable of breastfeeding or producing an adequate amount of natural milk has gone up, I would be willing to bet that it coincides with the 80s when the vaccine schedule started to get pushed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
No, well, and
all of us
that's
started
part of it,
falling
right?
apart.
Right? Like when autism and everything else started to become much
Mhm.
more prevalent.
You start moving off the Whole Foods and everything else. You start getting into all the, just, I mean, you read the ingredients and stuff, and it's like you don't even know what half of it is, and then you got the vaccines on top of it, and it's all of it's just really, this sort of, I don't know.
Incredibly hyper processed every aspect of
Yeah.
life to
Mhm.
where like nothing is natural anymore. Like
Yeah.
the most natural things are the most heavily regulated and you can't get good access to. I mean, not you or not us.
I
We
can
all
still get it. I mail order that special from Germany. Just like
what
shower myself with it.
what breast milk?
Yeah.
Like the German
Drip
stuff is the good
it
stuff.
down my head into my coffee. It's like excellent creamer.
I didn't know the German stuff was where it was. I thought maybe you should go with the English stuff. Speaking of English stuff, what's this?
Goat milk. Goat milk is an excellent replacer, by the way.
Oh, you asked the question like how many people died from vaccines and stuff, and I don't know about from all of them total, but like
It's more than 2.
it was more than 2, right? I just came out fresh off a 24-hour Facebook ban because I posted a screenshot of this article right here. Let's see. FDA limits Johnson & Johnson's COVID vaccine to some people due to blood clot risks. And 9 people have died from this. They had, within the first 2 weeks of the shot being administered, there were 6
See,
people.
2-Bit knows what's up. Man after my own heart.
He gets it. So within the first 2 weeks of the Johnson & Johnson shot being administered, they actually put a hold on it because 6 people developed this blood clot disease. I can't. What was the name of it? It was like it's like TTS is the.
Isn't that what you use to hear on your phone when you can't hear?
No. It has a real specific name, and it's hard to pronounce anyway. So we're just going to stick with TTS. But anyway, so like within the first 2 weeks of the Johnson & Johnson shot being administered, 6 people came down with this TTS, which is a rare blood clotting disease. They stopped using it and then decided to start using it again. Well, now the Johnson & Johnson shot has been restricted in Israel and Europe and most of the rest of the world for close to a year now. Like sometime around the summer of last year, when this blood clot thing was really becoming a problem, most of the rest of the world stopped using it. Well, now the FDA is finally getting around to saying, hey, maybe we should be restricting the use of this thing. And if you say that on Facebook, you get a 24-hour ban. If you simply say that the FDA, I mean, all I did was I posted a screenshot of the headline right here that says FDA limits Johnson & Johnson COVID vaccine to some people due to blood clot risk. That gets you a ban. So today, since I'm fresh off of my ban, I did a live stream and read the whole article. So we'll see how quickly I get nuked for that. Dag may be running the morning after Facebook page and group by himself from now on
Oh geez.
if this works out. So yeah, I mean, obviously that's more than 2 that they're doing the baby formula recalls on. And I'm not aware that these. I mean, they're restricting it, but they're still pushing it and still using it. Like they're not putting an end to it. They're not recalling it. They're like nothing actually being done about it.
All of them, man. It's all of them. They all have issues. And like.
So I guess if you're a listener and you need formula, I guess you can contact your pediatrician and they can get it for you though. Like you can have your doctor like order it and they can actually get it for you if you do need it. So PSA for y'all. We were watching Hannity last night because we like to stay informed, and he was railing about how Biden's sending formula to illegal immigrants. Like when they cross the border, they get formula like in their care package that he gives them.
Yep.
Here's your butter cookies, your baby formula, your stimulus checks, a couple ballots,
Don't you use baby formula for meth?
For meth,
Seems like-
no,
Yeah,
I
it
Seems
no, I,
like a waste of. Seems like a waste of good baby formula. Honestly, like you don't need anything that's nutritional for meth. You want
I
all
thought-
the good poison shit.
yeah, you use baby laxative to cut coke.
I thought formula was something
So you
that.
steal formula and you sell it for drugs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, or you buy formula with your EBT, your food
Yeah.
stamps, and then
Yeah.
then you sell it for drugs. But there is something because they do say Simulac, but I don't know if that's just a reference to illegitimate children among the rap community, or what, or if it is drug related. It's beyond me, beyond
Okay.
my expertise.
Yeah.
Cut it with your cocaine, I guess.
Yeah.
Then it's both nutritional and it gets you all jacked up. Let's
Oh,
see.
yeah, you're not eating otherwise.
Speaking of Biden, did y'all see this? So which one's the real Joe Biden?
So the top left, how old is that picture? 'Cause, I mean, are these all like
That's him in like the 90s. It's not even that old.
okay? Well, that's what I'm saying because I think it's yeah, it's not that old. But when you're like, I think when you, I mean, I don't know, that's 30 years ago, 20 years ago, and when you're already like 90 years old, like you get old real quick.
But like,
I've never seen. I just I don't know. I've never seen what adrenochrome can do.
but look,
yeah.
like they're all four chins are different. Like their chins are all different.
Oh no,
Their noses are different. At least two of them, the ears are different.
yeah.
I don't know.
Do you think one of them is Ruth Bader Ginsburg, RBG?
This one right here? That's definitely Ruth Bader. Look at that
Okay.
fucking crazed look on the face.
I can see it. I don't know, man. Like I don't know. Like what's but like who cares? Like we know that he's not pulling strings. We know he's not like he's just saying what he's told to say. It doesn't matter who it is, and so like as long as they look the same,
But I mean, they don't even really look all that the same. I mean,
and he doesn't look much like Obama, but it's the same, I mean, as long as the message is the same. Brain surgery. You got one of those chips
Couple
implanted?
facelifts. I do hope there's multiple though.
I don't see how there's.
I mean,
not.
they have body doubles, don't they? Like,
Yeah, but that's
don't-
supposed to be for like
I think it's supposed to be for like when they're doing things that are like driving through Dallas and stuff. But I don't know. I can see them using it more frequently now, just because like especially
Yeah, but
with,
like the body double is supposed to be the one that goes out and like shakes hands at events that don't matter, like not actually getting up on stage giving speeches or like all of these pictures are from him actually doing like speaking things. Like these are from speeches. These are where he was talking to a crowd and answering questions. Like you don't put a body double up there to answer questions from the press.
you do if it doesn't matter. You do if your answers don't matter, and like they don't matter. How many times has he said stuff that's been like completely wrong, and it doesn't matter? Like it has no impact on anything, other than it winds up, a bunch of people that say, "Oh, this, look at this moron," and then you have your left saying, I mean, like it doesn't matter. I don't know. Like you could put a frog up there, and it'd be the same thing.
I guess
I don't know.
is that why they swapped out the press secretary for the Haitian chick that
Yeah.
There are some pretty good clips of her standing in for Psaki and just getting obliterated by some of the what's the dude with
Ducey.
Fox? Yeah, Ducey. He has had a pretty good time with her on a couple different occasions. So
I see. It's funny because I've watched a few of those things just because, and it's always it's wild to see. One side is like, oh, he totally annihilated her, and then the other side is like, oh, she totally like cut him down, and it's like you're watching the same thing, and the reactions are just polar opposite. Like there is no sense of reality. It's bizarre to watch the same thing, hear the same things, and it just completely blows my mind.
Well, I mean, the staple of what passes for intelligent thought on that side is Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and Elizabeth Warren. So, like, obviously, they're not living in reality. So, whenever they think somebody did well, like, okay, so the bar is already down here. Like, basically, as long as you don't just trip over it and break your face, then you've exceeded it, right?
I should just pick up with them. It'd be nice to have like no bar. Just roll through life,
No expectations whatsoever.
Zero. I breathe, and therefore I am amazing. Like.
Speaking of low expectations, I think I called this the other day.
Finland?
No, Taiwan.
Okay. Finland's applying to get into NATO.
Everybody's applying to get in NATO. I think everybody wants to. Everybody wants to rule the world.
Please don't. I fucking hate them.
Terribly sorry. I tried. I'm not sure what's going on with Dag. I'm gonna pop him out until he seems to get it together.
She's stabbing him with an ice pick right now.
Probably.
So yeah, what happened with Taiwan?
Nothing yet, but we're building in that direction. If the West is thoroughly distracted by a very dangerous war in Europe, that might give the Chinese an opening to take Taiwan. Also, with we talked about the other day the thing about
Korea.
South Korea joining the cyber defense team or whatever, the NATO cyber defense force or Voltron or whatever it is. Like it all kind of seems to be pushing things in the direction that China becomes more aggressive, and like the initial thing once China decides to become more aggressive and just start doing what they want to do is go annex Taiwan. It's like Russia moved in and annexed Crimea and the Donbass region. Well, China's if NATO is going to have influence in that part of the world with South Korea, even if it's not South Korea joining NATO entirely, with them being a participant in this thing, then that's like, okay, NATO's not on our borders. Fuck you. We're going to go start expanding again, and we're going to take Taiwan. I didn't really look at a whole lot of what this.
No, I didn't know if there was more to it. Remember, before COVID, there was all the protests in Taiwan, and now they're like, all of that has just vanished from anything.
Yeah, funny how that just kind of fell off completely, huh? Oh, Taiwan produces 92% of the most sophisticated semiconductors in the world. So, if you thought we were having chip shortages now, just wait till China goes ahead and takes Taiwan.
I don't know, man. You think we'll ever go to like a hot war with these countries, or you think it'll all be proxy wars?
Proxy wars. I don't think. The U.S. military-industrial complex actually has any interest in fighting real war that would require like real loss. Like it's all well and good to go.
Why not though?
To go bomb sandboxes into oblivion, but like I don't think they want to actually get engaged in because they've pussified the military, the armed services. Like
right, and so I guess maybe
that is not a knock on military. I have plenty of friends, family that are in the military that like they are on their shit and they are top of the line. I also know plenty, not personally, but like you've seen plenty of videos and stuff. Like there is a large degree of pussification that has gone on with the military to water it down and dilute it, and we don't have that fighting force that we had at one time. Like it's not the
We have
U.S.
NATO.
military of it's not the U.S. military of World War II and Korea. It's like it is a different thing. We may have the largest military, but I wouldn't say we have necessarily the strongest. And how many of those, if we did send them to war, would just completely fold?
Fall apart. Well, I get that, right? But at the same time, like as I watch world events unfurl, and the stuff with inflation, the stuff like with supply, all this stuff, would a hot war right now not be exactly what we need to crush any sort of liberty spirit? It'd wrap you back into nationalism. It would probably join both sides to some degree, and you know what? Then you're going to be hurting, and then it like the powers that be, come in and no, you don't have to spend all this money to own a home. You can rent from us for this low cost. No, you don't have to go out and buy your food all the time. Like we're going to ship you food for this low cost. And you know what I mean? Like I feel like it's a good opportunity to consolidate a whole lot of power. Like we're on this cusp of just like your world order, your global order that we are kind of there on, but not, it's half of one hemisphere, and I don't know. I feel like this could be a turning point of times.
And you could very well be onto something with that, because I mean we have hit a point where the left is every bit as pro-war as the neocons were for 20 years. So, and like not just the leftist politicians that have always been pro-war but had to pretend they weren't, but like the actual actual progressives like on Twitter are suddenly pro-war. Like the supposed liberals are now actually pro-war. It's kind of fucking insane, and I wouldn't doubt that if there's a time to do it, if there's a time to really push a true hot war, now is the time, because they've got the sentiment of the left, and the neocons, for as much as we hate that, still have a large influence in the right, and there's always going to be a heavy pro-military spirit on the right, no matter what. So yeah, it's
think about World War II. When we got out of World War II, I think we still our economic paradigm still globs onto that as like, we were able to build because, it's that broken window thing. We have all this stuff to repair and all this stuff to fix. And I don't know if they're still, globbing onto that idea. I don't know, man. It seems like a lot of it. You want to get out of debt? Here, go fight in war. Go enroll in the army. And now, we don't have to have a draft, but we have all these people in debt. And you can get out of this debt by doing this thing, and you cut the population down, I don't know. I don't trust them.
Well, I don't mind if they initiate a draft. They just need to say you have to be vaccinated. That way, nobody that I know is going. That should be a requirement.
Yeah, I'm sure. I know it. If it's not, isn't it now a requirement?
I think the military does require the vaccine.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they have in-laws, and I think they had to do it. I think if you didn't do it, I don't know, they might still let you be in if you didn't do it, but you're just like, stabling papers and that sort of thing. So
Wait, I get a government paycheck to go staple papers? I mean,
you know, those high paying desk jockey jobs.
seems like they pay pretty well for the most part. Maybe I should get in on this. I shouldn't say
Yeah.
anything. I get paid a lot of money to do not a whole lot more than that. So, all right. Well, we covered a lot.
Retarded employers, retarded people.
We covered a lot of shit today. This was fun. We'll be back on Monday with
If Justin doesn't like break his stuff.
I almost spilled my coffee, and I almost spilled my coffee onto everything here, which would have just destroyed this entire setup that I literally just got 2 months ago and spent some thousands of dollars on. I might have broken down and cried. Like,
That would have been good live TV, man.
me crying is not good TV. That's no. All right. See everybody Monday.
Because democracy basically means government by the people, of the people, for the people. But the people are retarded.